1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The Prime Minister has assured the youth that they will be fully supported to start their own small and medium enterprises. The President has called for a comprehensive approach to check the population growth. The Minister for Planning has once again warned that the government will have to close down more sectors amid rising cases of COVID-19. Addressing an international seminar on Kashmir in Islamabad today, the Foreign Minister urged the world nations to play their role for a peaceful resolution of the Kashmir dispute and an end to human rights violations in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the Indian troops in their fresh act of state terrorism martyred 3 Kashmiri youths in Pulwama district today. Saudi Arabia's Council of Ministers has reiterated the kingdom's stance towards Palestinian cause as a fundamental Arab issue. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan has assured the youth will be encouraged and fully supported to start their own small and medium enterprises. He was addressing a ceremony in connection with check distribution amongst the successful applicants under the Kamyab Jawan program in Sialkot this evening. The Prime Minister said more loans will be provided to the youth in the days to come so that they could start their own business, which will create immense job opportunities. He said the focus of the present government is to bolster exports, and for this purpose, the industrial sector will be fully supported. Imran Khan assured the business community that an industrial zone will be established on 1,000 acres of land in Sialkot. Imran Khan said this is an era of science and technology, and the present government is especially focusing on its promotion to provide a better future to our coming generations. Earlier addressing a gathering of business community after the inauguration of Air Sayal in Sialkot today, the Prime Minister said the government will extend full facilitation to the business community for industrialization and enhancement of exports to achieve inclusive growth. He said this is the first government which has a policy to incentivize the industry by bringing ease of doing business. The Prime Minister said the government faced difficult times during COVID-19 but successfully navigated through it, which was also acknowledged by the World Health Organization. However, he said the opposition, which had earlier been advocating India-like blanket lockdown during the first spike, is now holding public gatherings despite sharp surge in the second wave of cases. Prime Minister Imran Khan has welcomed the American President-elect Joe Biden's declared intent of a policy targeting dirty money. In a tweet today, he said developing countries are being impoverished by the corrupt elites who launder money to richer countries and offshore tax havens. The President, Dr. Arif Alvi, has called for a comprehensive approach to check the population growth. Addressing a seminar virtually held in Islamabad today, he said it is important that all the provinces and other stakeholders are on board to cope with the issue. The President said we are working with the Ministry of Health to ensure the availability of contraceptives, and the ulama have also been taken on board on family planning. He said a lot of efforts are being made by the present government to address the issue of malnutrition, and program is being launched soon to provide nutrition packets to mothers. The Minister for Planning and Development, Asad Umar, has once again warned that the government will have to close down more sectors amid rising cases of COVID-19 and non-compliance of the standard operating procedures. Addressing the media persons after chairing the National Command and Operations Centre meeting in Islamabad today, he said the nation is not observing SOPs as much as it did during the first wave of the pandemic. The minister said the most dangerous move is that some political parties are insisting to arrange big public gatherings despite ban on the assembly of more than 300 people at one place. The minister said Prime Minister Imran Khan will chair a meeting of the National Coordination Committee on COVID-19 tomorrow to review the latest situation about coronavirus in the country. The Pakistan Navy is celebrating the Hangur Day, reminiscent of unmatched courage and unwavering commitment of the Pakistan Navy's submarine Hangur during the 1971 war. The Navy has released a special documentary to mark the day and to pay tribute to highlight the success of the Pakistan Navy Hangur ship, which sank the Indian naval ship Kukri and crippled another Kirpan during the 1971 war. This is Radio Pakistan. The Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi has urged the world community and organizations including the United Nations and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation to play their role for a peaceful resolution of the Kashmir dispute. Addressing an international seminar on Kashmir in Islamabad today, he also appealed to the Muslim countries to use their political influence and economic clout to prevent India from committing atrocities in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The foreign minister said Kashmiris are continuously being subjected to a brutal military siege and inhuman restrictions, deploring the state-sponsored terrorism and crimes against humanity by the Indian occupation forces against the people of the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. He urged the world community to pressurize India to adhere to its international human rights obligations. Saudi Ambassador to Pakistan Nawaf bin Said Al Maliki called on the Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi in Islamabad today. The two sides discussed bilateral relations and enhancement of cooperation. Shah Mahmood Qureshi expressed gratitude to the Saudi Foreign Minister and the Saudi government for supporting Pakistan's resolution on Kashmir at the OIC Foreign Ministers Council meeting. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the Indian troops in their fresh act of state terrorism martyred 3 youths during a cordon and search operation in Tikkan area of Pulwama district today. The youths were martyred by the troops during a cordon and search operation in Tikkan area of the district. Hurriyat leaders Ghulam Muhammad Khan Supori and Farida Behenji in their statements, while paying tributes to the martyrs, said Kashmiri youths were rendering their lives to liberate their motherland from the Indian illegal occupation. Meanwhile, an analytical report released by the Kashmir Media Service today on International Day of Commemoration and Dignity of Victims of Crime of Genocide said fears of genocide in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir have increased manifold following a series of anti-Kashmiri steps taken by the Narendra Modi-led fascist Indian government after 5th of August 2019. In Afghanistan, 2 security personnel were killed and 3 others wounded in a Taliban attack on a military base in Andar district of Ghazni province today. Saudi Arabia's Council of Ministers has reiterated the kingdom's stance towards Palestinian cause as a fundamental Arab issue. In a statement following a cabinet session, the kingdom's ministers said Palestine is still a top foreign policy issue for the Saudi government. The statement said Israeli efforts to build settlements on Palestinian lands is a flagrant violation of international law and an obstacle to achievement of permanent and comprehensive peace. The Iranian President Hassan Rouhani has said Tehran's nuclear deal can be restored without negotiations despite recent escalations following assassination of a top nuclear scientist. In a televised cabinet speech today, he said all new advanced centrifuges that are being installed at the Natanz underground nuclear facilities can be switched off once all the signatories of the nuclear deal start fully implementing their commitments. And finally, the weather. Cloudy weather conditions are expected in most upper and central parts of the country during the next 24 hours. However, rain with snowfall over the hills is expected in Kashmir, Gilgit-Baltistan, Upper Punjab and Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Cold and dry weather is expected elsewhere in the country. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.